As a child, my parents worked the polls, and that's the POLLS. They were inspectors, and so it was like a natural. They made sure that we understood the voting process and the importance of the voting process. I actually did my first, had my first inspector's position working the polls when I was in college, and so it was a wonderful opportunity to do it. So I've done it in in at least 2 different states. My motto is that you don't just register a person. If you have the wherewithal and the depth of knowledge, you need to not only register them and explain to them the importance of registering, but you then need to educate them. You can spend all the time in the world educating someone, but if they're not registered, your time could be better spent speaking to someone who is registered. So, one, registration, then you educate them. And then finally, I think that it's important to then have people mobilize themselves. I try to make sure that people understand that when I'm speaking, I'm not telling them who to vote for. I'm not telling them how to register. I just want them to be able to register based upon what their beliefs are and be able to do what I do not do anything in a partisan way, because that takes away the trust that a person has in what you're telling them if you're only telling them to do things in one way. I think that it's important that if you really have passion about something and you want people to understand you, you have to come from a very neutral standpoint. If you come from a strong standpoint on one side or the other, then they're only looking at your personal views. They're not looking at how they can benefit. You're only extolling your views, and you can't do that to people. And it's an art. I'm not going to say it's easy. I want registering and voting to be normalized. I want it to be something that you don't have to ask a person if they are registered. You just remind them of when the election dates are and when they're coming up.